ladies and gentlemen, the Good News Quartet.
He will give me grace and glory.
Grace and glory.
He will give me grace and glory.
Grace and glory.
He will give me grace and glory. And go with me all the way. Where he leads me, I will follow.
I will follow.
Where he leads me, I will follow.
I will follow.
Where he leads me, I will follow. I'll go with him all the way. He will give me grace and glory, and go with me all the way, all the way.
Over my dead body?
Mrs. Stiles, as I have told you many times this year, to check the progression of your illness, we need to see inside you.
Look, Dr. Peters, what's going on inside of me looks a lot like what's going on outside of me.
Grace.
Listen, young lady, if God wanted you to look in my body, he'd have given me a window. Now just take me back to my penthouse.
But Grace...
Now!
Please listen to me.
You hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Roy,
Hello, Mr. Dudley.
you know, Mr. Anders is beginning to lose patience. There are bulldozers already on the property based on your say-so.
I know, Mr. Dudley. Honestly, I do.
This is the contract Mr. Anders' company has prepared for the purchase of your grandmother's farm. You may want to have your own lawyer go over it.
Oh, my grandma don't put much stock in lawyers. But you've been in a bank for a long time now. If you say it's a good deal, we'll take your word for it.
Then all we need is your grandmother's signature.
We'll meet on the beautiful shore, in the sweet by and by. We will meet in the beautiful shore.
I can't believe the difference in the garden since you came here.
Yeah, well, that's the only reason I let my grandson put me in here when I broke my hip. Your garden looked worse than me. It does look pretty good, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Would you look at that? Would you... Bernice! Bernice! You interrupted my ball scores. Help me up, dear.
There you go.
Bernice? Thank you. You said that my hymn singing wouldn't make the peppers get any bigger? Take a look at that.
All your hymn singing does is set my teeth on edge.
In my prayers every morning, I ask God why he would send me an ornery old heathen like you for a roommate.
I've told you 100 times, Grace, there is no God. Only fools believe otherwise.
Well, if that's true, I am proud to be the biggest fool in creation.
Ladies, please.
Thank you.
I would kill for some lox on a sesame bacon.
Really? Locks?
Yeah.
We have locks here.
Seriously?
They
lox?
do. Yeah, right over here. Look, over here near the door hinges and doorknobs. You see, we got locks, we got padlocks, we
David,
got front.
I am
Ooh,
starting to
that's a
worry
nice
about you.
one.
Even your sense of humor is turning country.
Yeah, but you still love me.
Guys need help?
Yeah, we do. Actually, we do. We're looking for a
Steamer.
Steamer to take about 10 layers of paper off the bedroom wall.
Try Valley Rental down on South Main. They'll fix you right up. You're the new lawyer, aren't you?
Well, new to this state anyway. Hi, David Greenwood.
Lou Edwards. Your new partner's my brother-in-law.
Oh, great.
You must be Gloria.
Small world.
You guys miss New York?
A little.
Well, if you ever need anything, imported cheese, olives, smoked salmon, you let me know. I'll have it shipped in for you overnight.
Thanks, Lou. Appreciate that. You see, things are looking up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? I don't say often enough how much I appreciate you doing this.
I've always dreamed of living the country life.
I know it's an adjustment, but I think once you get a job...
I have a job, and I like it.
You're volunteering.
Let's just go get the steamer and...
Honey?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
Oh, look at you. Are you okay? Are you all right, huh?
I'm fine, ma'am. No problem, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Honey, the boy's okay. Honey. Honey, let him go, sweetheart. The boy's okay. Honey, come on.
Yeah.
He's fine now. Let him go.
All right.
Here you go, pal. Sorry about that. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay? All right.
All right. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to drive.
Yeah, you drive. Okay.
No one must look up fright. I saw the doctors today and they just stuffed me so full of holes. It's a wonder I'm not leaking all over the place.
Arthur Guilford came by, got the furniture from the big house. He said some of the pieces are heirloom quality.
Really?
Mr. Pitt from the auction barn came and got most everything else.
I hate you're having to do this by yourself, Roy.
Charlene helps him.
That's good. Well, I told you that I saw the doctor earlier, and honey, I don't expect that I have too much more time.
Dr. Peters called me. She also said that you're not taking your medicine.
Medicine? It's painkillers. I don't know why. Everybody's so fired up around here. They fill me up with painkillers. None of their business.
Grandma. About the farm. This land developer, Mr. Anders, he is offering us a real good price. But he is not gonna wait forever. And if we have to wait until you're, you know, gone,
Yeah.
then we're gonna have all sorts of legal hassles, which no one wants.
Oh, no more in me, honey.
Listen, Grandma, if it's your things that you're worried about, Mr. Anders said we can store it all down in the granny cottage. We can keep it there all winter, if necessary. And that way, if you need something up here...
Roy. Do it. It's time. It's time to sell.
You'll sign the contract.
They won't touch my orchards.
Why would they touch your orchard? The whole shebang is named for it. Apple Glade Resort. That's what they're calling it.
Fancy.
You should see, they got a big old sign on the hill where Grandpa used to have his still.
Honey, your grandpa never had a still.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Uncle Enos, Grandpa's brother, he did have a still. And Grandpa sometimes tended it for him. But it was just to help out.
Write your name right there.
Right. It's done then.
But, Roy, what's gonna happen to the money? If your grandma's really gonna die, bless her soul, well, what's gonna happen to the money?
Well, I haven't asked her, Charlene. I think it's all gonna go pay the medical bills.
Well, you gotta ask her, Roy. You're her only kin in these parts. You help out night and day with everything under the sun. Your daddy, bless his soul, was her favorite. Why shouldn't you get the money?
I don't like asking her, Charlene, and that's all. Now let it be.
I've been thinking about Luann. You know, my grandniece, one that's been writing me all those letters. All these years she's written. I think she's kind of fascinated with me because I'm her oldest living relative. Anyway, she was going to come see me this spring. And don't you know, 3 days before she was due, I fell down. Roy had to call her and tell her not to come. She was so sad. She really did want to see my apple orchard. So I got thinking about it, and then I got a notion. And I got a way that might show her my orchard. It's not finished, but I'm going to let you see it because I think you get a good idea. There. Look at that. What do you think? Bernice? Bernice? Oh. I know you'd yell at me for saying this, but I bet anything you believe in God now.
You don't understand. She has to stay here.
We can't keep her against her will, Roy. And she'll be more comfortable at home. Don't worry, someone from hospice will visit the farm today.
I told you, she
Just
sold
your
the
grandmother
farm.
avails herself of their services.
Thank you. Here I am. Pharmacy had it already. Now, I showed you how to use the drops for pain. Any other questions? There's a leaflet inside for you to read.
I don't want it. It's just a waste.
You're gonna need it, Grace. Oh, one more thing. Keep it. Bernice would have wanted you to have it.
Oh, thank you.
Call us. Let us know if there's anything you need.
Sure will.
She's got the medicine. Make sure she uses it.
I'll try. You know my grandma. You know how stubborn she is about taking her medicine.
Yeah, I know.
I'd take you home with me, but you've seen our place.
Oh, honey, I don't want to live with you.
Well, then you should have stayed at the nursing home.
Roy, I don't want to die in a cold, dreary room like Bernice. I want to die at home. My bones was going to come out. I feel my skin.
Hold on. Wait a second. Let me help you there.
Oh, dear. That just help me there, dear. Oh, that's it. That's it. Oh, thank you.
Carefully. Just lean on me.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
I understand, Grandma. This farm isn't yours anymore.
Oh, your Mr. Anders said I could put my personal belongings in the granny cottage. And this body of mine is the most personal belonging I got. This whole place. Oh, goodness.
You sit there. Okay.
Yeah.
Get the bed made.
Oh.
Want some fresh air?
Don't you have to go to work, honey?
Oh, I called Ernie. He's cool. I'll put some towels in the bathroom. You need an extra quilt?
No, no.
Okay, well, listen, I gotta go to the bank to see Mr. Dudley pay off everything we owe. On the way, I'll stop and I'll get some groceries. You'll be okay here for a few hours?
Be just fine.
Here, let me help you into bed.
Oops.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you.
Here we go.
Are you sure there's nothing else that you need?
No. No, just my knitting and that little, you know, that little black walkathon thing.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, thank you.
I see your Mr. Saunders died peacefully in his sleep.
It was his time. He was 96. Although, the day before he died, he proposed to me. And now I'm hoping that my turning him down isn't what killed him.
You've done beautifully with your first 2 assignments, Gloria.
Thanks. So, where to next?
Next? You just lost a patient. Don't you want to take a break?
Oh, I told you, Winnie, I like to keep busy. I come from the corporate world of 14-hour workdays.
Looks like we got a lively one, a Mrs. Grace Stiles. When she went home from the nursing home today, she stashed her pain medication in the planter by the front door.
Gloria, this is Rosemary Albright. She's been a hospice volunteer for 6 years. They don't come any better.
I pay her to say that.
How would you two like to take on Mrs. Grace Stiles?
It says in the paperwork she lives in the cottage. What in the world is going on?
I have no idea. But a terminally ill woman shouldn't have to put up with this. Try around to the left. That looks like a cottage.
No spot is so dear to my childhood as a little brown church in the vale. There's a church in the valley on the wildwood stone. Over your place in the dale. No spot is so
Good set of lungs.
Mrs. Stiles!
Mrs. Stiles?
Oh, come to the church in the wildwood. Oh, come to the church in the
Mrs.
vale.
Stiles!
No spot is so dear to my childhood as a little brown church in the vale. Oh, come to the church in the wildwood.
So we're letting ourselves in.
Come to the church
Mrs.
in the
Stiles?
vale.
Mrs.
No
Stiles?
spot is so dear
Hello?
to my... Oh, oh.
Sorry. Didn't mean to startle you. I'm Gloria Greenwood, and this is Rosemary Albright. We're from hospice.
How we doing, Mrs. Stiles? Everything all right?
Ladies, I can tell, you know, by your lips moving that you're talking, but I can't hear a blessed word you're saying. And it's not because I'm deaf, if that's what you're thinking. It's this Walkman handy long thing. I just thought that me and the, you know, Good News Quartet, maybe we could drown out some of that racket out there.
Is there anyone here with you, Mrs. Stiles?
Well, I do believe you are.
I'm sure I read that your grandson...
Roy,
he's looking after you?
Yeah, that's right. He had some things to do.
And he left you here alone?
Oh, well, he'll be back later.
But you need someone here with you.
Well,
for?
To care for you.
I'm gonna call hospice. Winnie Bradley should know about this. May I use your phone?
Yeah, it's around the corner. It don't work, though. It hasn't been connected up here in the cottage since Gabriella Stiles, she passed on.
Gloria. I should go back and report this. I mean, not only is a poor woman unattended, but she's stranded in the middle of a construction site without even a phone?
I'll go over the hospice agreement with her while you're gone.
Hey, are you gonna be all right until I get back?
Yes, we'll be fine.
Where's she going? Is she going after Roy?
No, we came to talk with you, Mrs. Stiles, not Roy. When you left the nursing home this morning, you forgot your medication.
I didn't forget it. I told him I didn't want it. I told him so. Didn't they tell you that?
Yes, but...
Then what are you driving all the way out here pestering me for?
Mrs. Stiles, may I sit down?
Listen, you people have to learn something. That you can't always...
May I please sit down?
Honey, I'm not the Queen of England. If you want to sit, sit.
Thank you. Rosemary and I are volunteers from an organization called Hospice. Didn't your doctor tell you about us?
Well, she might have, but she's one of them medical women, talks a whole lot faster than I can listen.
I see. Have you had any lunch?
Listen, dear, whatever you're selling, I know I'm way past needing it.
The nurse told me you didn't touch your breakfast this morning, so I packed a thermos of chicken soup. You know, one of the services hospice provide... What is it, Mrs. Stiles? Do you need to go to the bathroom?
Well, yes, I do, if you must know. I mean, I've been sitting here all day just trying to get up enough strength.
You haven't been to the bathroom since this morning? It's the middle of the afternoon.
Believe me, I know. I was doing fine, too, until that Good News Quartet got me all revved up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can do it.
You can do it. All right.
Oh, no, I'm too dizzy. Oh, now it hurts, too. I gotta lie down.
Okay. Oh. I'm gonna get your pain medication.
No drugs. How many times do I have to tell you people? This ain't pain anyway. You ever been in labor?
Yes, I have.
Well, then you know what real pain is. Up at the big house up there, I had 4 babies. 4 boys. First one come out feet first, hung on to my ribs for 20 hours.
What are we going to do about this?
Well, just gonna have to hold it, I guess.
You can't hold it?
Oh, honey, I was the youngest of 13 children. We had 1 outhouse. Believe me, I got so I could hold my water a week standing in front of Ruby Falls.
Oh, I don't suppose you have a bedpan. Why didn't I think to bring one? Huh.
Well, it's not the kind of thing you usually take calling on a person.
How about this?
That's a soup tureen. That belonged to Gabriella Stiles, my husband's mother.
Sentimental value?
Well, let's put it this way. Gabriella, she lived with us 19 years. 19 of the slowest years of my life.
It does have the right shape.
Well, it does, doesn't it? No, we just can't be thinking it.
Mrs. Stiles, I probably shouldn't even say this, but if I had the opportunity to do it in my mother-in-law's soup tureen, I would.
That's a very nice suggestion, but you gotta realize I'm gonna meet Gabriella Stiles very soon. Can you imagine spending all eternity with her following me around crabbing about her soup tureen?
Well, then we're just gonna have to get you up. Just lean on me. Here. There you go. All right.
Be slow now.
Mm-hmm. I got you. All right. Here we go. Mm-hmm. feet are on the floor.
Do you mind telling me what you're doing here again?
Well, I'm here to help, that's all.
Help me what, Di?
In a way, yes.
That's the first. Never had a stranger just come to my door and try to help me die. You done this before?
I've assisted on 2 other hospice cases.
You do this for a living?
I told you, I'm a volunteer.
Oh, I see. You volunteer to help perfect strangers die. Is this some kind of custom? You know, something I just haven't heard about? No, but...
You happen to be a perfect example of what hospice is about. Your grandson picks you up from the nursing home and just dumps you here, all alone with no one to turn to?
I'm not alone. The good Lord is with me.
Uh-huh. And where was the good Lord today when you needed help getting to the bathroom?
Well, he sent someone. He sent you. I just didn't recognize you.
Until we get everything straightened out with your grandson, is there somebody who can stay here with you? Maybe somebody from your church?
Don't have no church. Haven't been in 40 years.
Here, I'll help you to bed. All right. Better?
Yeah. You know, I just can't believe that I even thought about doing that in the family china. Talk about being sinful.
Well, relax. It's not so sinful to put the wrong thing in the wrong china. Here. Unless you're keeping kosher.
Listen, what?
Oh, nothing but a joke. Okay. Now I'm gonna fix up that soup I promised. Hope you're hungry.
I am a little.
I'm just gonna find something to put it in.
Okay. Oh, honey, I've got an idea.
I'm worried about it, Gloria. Didn't touch her supper, said she might eat an egg in the morning. I left at 6 and her grandson still hadn't come back, but she says he works late.
Winnie called. We can't go back there after tomorrow if she keeps refusing to sign this hospice agreement.
I went over with her a dozen different ways. I'm not signing nothing, is all she kept saying.
Let me take the morning shift. See what I can do. Shoot! Shoot! Mrs. Stiles! Shoot! Mrs. Stiles, it's Gloria! Great. It's Gloria, Mrs. Stiles. Can I come in? I'm coming in. Hi. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
There are chickens all over your front porch.
Yeah, I usually feed him this time of morning. Roy's been doing it for me.
Uh-huh.
May I ask just what it is you're doing here?
Oh, well, you told Rosemary that she might eat an egg this morning. So I dropped by to fix it for you.
Oh, sure. You drove 20 miles up the mountain to drop by?
Mrs. Stiles, it's damp in here. What can we do to warm you up? Do you have a thermostat?
No, I just use a stove.
Stove. Oh, the stove. Look at this. Huh. Where is Roy? You told Rosemary he was going to stay with you last night?
Roy was here. He was here till 8 or later. That's when I closed my eyes. I pretended to go to sleep.
You pretended to go to sleep?
So he would go home. Roy has better things to do than babysit a sick old woman.
Oh.
Now listen, honey. I feel much stronger today. I've been up already, and I don't need any help. Now, I think you should just, go on and just get on with your day.
I will. As soon as I get you fed. I suppose you cook on this thing?
Listen, I don't know how to say this much plainer.
Not to worry, Mrs. Stiles. I'm no novice at building fires. Fire goes in here, right?
That's the oven, child.
Mrs. Stiles, are you sure you don't have something here we could just plug in?
Don't like my food cooked with electricity. Tastes funny.
Well, good God, we're just gonna have a boiled egg. I don't see what difference it makes how you get the water to boil.
Glorie, you have acquired a very unpleasant habit of using the Lord's name in vain.
Oh, you mean good God?
It's just as easy to say good heavens or good gravy.
Good gravy. I will try to remember that. And my name is Gloria.
Gloria? All right, I'll try to remember that.
Thank you. All right, I can do this. Are you sure this thing is safe?
Yeah, just put the lid back on top.
I knew that.
And close the front door. The chickens are coming in.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Ouch. Ouch. Go. Phew. I have black all over my hands. How does this thing work?
It's got a handle and a spout. How do you think it works?
Well, humor me, Mrs. Stiles. I'm not a morning person.
Oh, honey. Honey, the stove. The stove!
I thought you said this thing was safe!
Yeah, it is. It's just the damper.
Well, I can't even use the phone to call anybody. It doesn't work, and by the time I pump enough water by hand, I'm gonna get you out of here.
What are you doing?
We've got to
Open
get
the
out
damper.
of here. Come on, we're going outside.
Get away from me. What are you doing? Stop that.
We're
Go
going out.
over there and open that damper. Look. You see that metal thing sticking out of that pipe right above the stove? Go turn it.
Why?
Because we're going to choke to death on the smoke.
Here goes.
Well.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Stiles. Sometimes good gravy just doesn't cut it.
Open the window. Good heavens, I don't think I ever met anybody quite as
civilized?
That isn't the word I was reaching for, but it'll have to do.
All right.
You know, put a lid on that. The water will boil faster.
Now I know why you country people eat such hearty breakfasts. It's a day's work just to boil an egg.
Well, don't just stand there watching it.
Why not?
A watch pot never boils.
Since when?
Just take my word for it. You want to get the eggs? They're on the counter over there by the window. Roy gathered them last night.
Oh, yuck. Mrs. Stiles, these eggs, they're covered in bird stuff.
Well, then wash them off.
What's that smoke?
You know, I think this would be a whole lot easier if you got in bed and I got up and made you breakfast.
What's going on? What are you two doing here?
What are you doing here?
Mr. Anders, sir!
Hey, the place on fire.
No, it's not. It's probably just the stove. If you just give me
Who's
a
this?
second. I'm Roy Stiles. This is my wife, Charlene. This was my grandma's farm.
False alarm, Mr. Anders. There's no fire. Couple ladies in there trying to boil an egg. What?
Wait a minute. I want to talk with whoever's in charge out here. Would that be you?
Lady, I don't know who you are, but you are trespassing on private property. Now, if you and whoever else you got inside there don't get gone in exactly 1 minute, I'm calling the sheriff.
I'm Gloria Greenwood. I'm a hospice volunteer caring for an elderly woman inside who happens to be terminally ill.
I was trying to tell you, Mr. Anders, my grandma, she's moved back into the cottage.
She can't do that!
Well, she has. So if you and your Neanderthals don't get away from this cottage in less than a minute, I'm going to call the sheriff.
Don't you touch my orchard! Don't you get too comfortable in there, Mrs. Stiles. You're not staying long.
Well, it boiled.
One of the Lord's little miracles.
I can do that. Oh, 2 minutes?
Well, better make it 3.
3.
Oh, Glory, meet Charlene. This is Roy's wife.
You're not from around here, are you?
I'm from New York, but I live here now.
Well, Roy would just have loved to see New York, wouldn't you, honey? I mean, he just got an itch in his britches, just wants to travel around the world.
Grandma.
Honey, I surely wanted to leave you this land. And I would have, if your daddy and me just could have died easy.
But since you just sold the farm, surely there must have been some profit.
No, Charlene, there wasn't, okay? Not a penny. By the time I got finished paying off the back taxes, the rest of the farm's debt, the mountain of medical bills from my dad, and now my grandma's bills on top of that.
But we aren't leaving any debts, Roy. Not many farmers can say that.
I'll be waiting in the car, Roy.
I'm curious about this Anders guy. I wonder if I could talk with the lawyer you used to sell the property?
I didn't have one.
You didn't have a lawyer?
No, the fella down at the bank, he took care of everything.
Oh, well, what about your contract? The one you signed? You did read it, didn't you? What is it, Mrs. Stiles? You can read, can't you?
My not being able to read's got nothing to do with anything. And I'm not ignorant, if that's what you think. I ran this farm after my husband died. And my being able to read or not able to read never mattered none.
And Mrs. Greenwood, our personal lives are really none of your business. Now, the farm is gone, and that's that. Now, I came here today to try and talk my grandma into going back to the nursing home.
No, Roy, I can't do it.
Grandma, would you look out there? It is like a war zone. And this Anders, he's gonna come here with the sheriff and the state police, and he's gonna drag you out of here.
It doesn't have to be that way, Roy. We can stop him.
I don't want to stop him. Can't you get that through your head?
Honey, the fridge we ordered isn't gonna fit, so we either have to exchange it for a smaller one, or we're gonna have to move this wall here in the kitchen.
She sold a 250-acre farm and didn't even have an attorney to look at the contract.
What's it gonna be, Glow? The wall of the fridge?
Poor woman can't even read.
Smaller fridge. Okay.
You're not listening to me.
No, honey, you see, you're not listening to me. I'm supposed to be in court right now helping Phil on the Hillborough case, but our contractor here has 50 urgent questions, and you are nowhere to be found.
I've been out with Mrs. Stiles. You know that.
Mrs. Stiles is not your problem. This is your problem.
She happens to be my patient.
Well, not according to Winnie Bradley, who left 2 rather terse messages on the machine, something about some unsigned hospice forms.
There are bulldozers crawling all over her property. The fumes, the filth, the noise. Mrs. Stiles hasn't been able to sleep, to eat. What they're doing out there can't be legal.
What you are doing out there is definitely not legal.
Honey. David. Wait, I'm asking you for help, okay? How often does that happen? Just please look into it for me, all right? Make sure the contract's good. Please. Please.
There is a standard legal paragraph in cases like this which entitles the seller to quiet possession and peaceful enjoyment for a reasonable period.
Mwah. I knew I could count on you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call that contractor right away. Oh, about the kitchen. Move the wall.
Move the wall. Oh, and you won't forget about this evening, right?
This evening?
My reception. Country club. Being sworn in as a member of the state bar.
Country club. Of course I'll be there. But we won't stay too late, will we? I have to get up early in the morning.
Gloria. Honey, you haven't even tried to make any friends at the club.
Honey, I told you those people just don't interest me right now.
And why is that? Because they don't have one foot in the grave? Hey. Come here. Look. Ever since last year, nothing seems to interest you but death. Not me, not our marriage, our lives.
Hi. Hi. You been here all morning?
Yes, Gloria, we need to talk about this.
Oh, I know. I spoke to Winnie on the way out here.
She will not sign the hospice agreement. We can't stay here, Gloria.
What are we supposed to do? Abandon her?
We have no choice.
Mrs. Stiles, why did you tell Rosemary you don't want a hospice team here?
Because I don't.
Well, then I'm gonna have to leave too.
Well, it's up to you, I guess. Don't worry. The doctor said I would have good days and bad days. I'll be just fine.
Look, this is a telephone.
No.
Please, if you want any help or you just want to talk about anything, please push the green button and you'll reach me, all right?
I don't think that'll be necessary.
It would make me feel much better, please. Are you sure I can't make you something to eat before I go?
Don't want nothing. But, you know, while you're feeling so helpful and all, it would be awful nice if you could take me down to the church.
The church you stopped going to 40 years ago?
There's somebody down there I'd like to see. J.P. Conklin. He come in when our old pastor got sick. Boy, was he good looking.
Really?
Made me feel like I loved the Lord on the hot skillet. Only man my whole life ever said out loud I was pretty.
Mrs. Stiles, that is so sweet.
Nothing sweet about it. Turn left right up there. You could come in if you wanted to.
I'll wait out here for you.
Don't you think, well, maybe you should get on home, you know? You've done enough already, and I know you must have family that needs taken care of, a job.
I had a job in New York. I was with a national consulting firm. We fix businesses. You know, big corporations would get fiscally sick, and we go in and revive them.
Revive them?
Mm-hmm. We'd save them.
Oh, so you got a history of saving things.
What I want to say is, in addition to the hospice work, I could help you get your legal affairs in order.
Glorie, there's something I haven't quite figured out about you. But I will.
Just can't wait.
I'm very pleased, both of you. I'm sure you'll be very happy.
Well, we appreciate your good advice, Reverend.
Yes.
Good ideas.
Been wonderful.
Congratulations. See you next Sunday.
Oh, yes. See you Sunday.
Grace? Grace Stiles? As I live and breathe?
I wasn't sure you'd recognize me, John Patrick.
Of course I recognize you. But I'm flabbergasted you're actually here.
Well, it wasn't anything I planned, believe me. I haven't thought about you in a million years. I'm very glad to see you.
Me too. How have you been, Grace?
Just fine.
The guidelines in the hospice handbook clearly state that...
I understand every detail of the handbook. And it all worked fine for patients like Mr. Saunders and Mr. Barnes. But Grace Stiles isn't dying by the book.
No one does, Gloria. And no matter what, we try to train our volunteers not to become emotionally involved.
I couldn't help it. I love that woman. And if her faith is giving her the strength she needs to get through this without painkillers, who am I to tell her differently? I understand. My going out there is putting hospice in jeopardy. That's why I thought it best to resign.
We need you too much. Grace does too. Go and do what you must. We'll find a way to support you.
Oh. Thank you.
Look here. I got the sleeves done. Now all I have to do is the top.
This is beautiful. It's a work of art. Well, it looks just like
the orchard. Yeah, I thought it'd be nice if Luann could just see what it looks like.
Who's Luann?
Luann, my great niece. That's a picture right there. She and Roy are the only ones of my kin that still bother with me. She's my youngest, older brother's middle son's first daughter's third child. By her second marriage.
Oh, well, who can compete with that?
Oh, look in the wicker basket there, right at the foot of the bed.
Well, somebody likes to write letters.
Huh. Me and Luann, we have a real close connection. She's going to be 13 this month. I thought I'd put this in a box and have Roy mail it to her. You don't think he'll forget, do you? Men are careless about such things.
I'll mail it for you.
Would you? I'll have Roy give you the address and money for the postage. I thank you. You want me to find you something to do?
Oh, I'm fine.
But you're just standing there.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, thinking isn't doing. Thinking's just a fancy word for idleness, and we all know that idleness is the devil's workshop.
Mrs. Stiles, I don't believe in the devil.
You think he cares about that? What's that picking at your fingers you're doing?
Well, because in the last few days, I have managed to tear up every one of my nails. Every one.
Oh. Well, you just go on home and sit in your fancy bathtub. Let your fingernails grow back.
I'm gonna find something to do.
There's a bag in there under the table of scraps of fabric.
I don't know how to sew.
No, it isn't sewing. It's quilting. Here, I'll show you.
I'll bring it in to you.
No, I'm having a real good day. You're supposed to keep moving. Ask me, you think too much. No garden in this world ever got planted by thinking about it.
Yes, Mrs. Stiles.
Don't use that tone with me. I'm not your mother. All right, now you take this piece of cardboard. Just put it on top of your fabric.
Okay.
And cut around it. Okay?
All right. How's that?
Work of art. Do another one, Glorie.
Mrs. Stiles, my name isn't Glorie. It's Gloria.
Well, my name isn't Mrs. Stiles either. It's Grace. Oh, I want to show you something. That picture there, that's Mr. Stiles, my husband. Them others, that's my kids.
That's right. You have 4 children. Well, where are they now? I'm sorry. Was that a personal question?
No, that's all right. I'll show you where they are. That's my husband. Those are my kids down there.
You lost all 4 of your children?
Lonnie, he was a baby. I went into him one morning, wasn't breathing. Doctor come. He said, these things just happen. And Dwayne, he was hunting with his daddy. Stumbled over some barbed wire in the snow. Gun went off. Colin, Vietnamese War. Really, the only one that had a chance to grow up is Roger Lee. He's Roy's daddy.
How did you deal with that? Losing them, I mean.
I grieved. Still do. But it was the good Lord's will.
You didn't question that? The good Lord's will?
Glorie, what happened to you? Tell me about your children.
Pardon me?
You said she was in labor.
We had a son. His name was Billy. He was killed in an automobile accident over a year ago.
You poor thing. Why do young people think they have to drive so fast nowadays anyway?
He was 8 years old, Grace. He wasn't driving. I was. How's your hip?
Oh.
You all right?
Yeah, hip's wonderful. You tell me why part of my body's getting better and the other part's dying. Well, weeds. You know, when they plant me here, I'm gonna work on them from underneath. Just gonna pull them down.
It's getting cold.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, Grace, Grace. Oh, you hurt so much. Shh, don't move, don't move. Just let me hold you.
Will you look at them trees? Hasn't been an artist born. Painted pretty picture as that. Listen.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first day this week that them fool machines have been quiet. I sure would like to know how you got them to stop.
Well, Gloria asked me to find a judge that would agree that a sick woman shouldn't be subjected to bulldozers and chainsaws and dynamite, so I did.
Well, you lawyers are something. Look just like regular people, too.
David, quit stuffing your face for 1 minute and tell us what happened at the meeting. How did it go?
Well, I think Mr. Anders' blood pressure went up about 100 points.
Good. That's not all we're going to do to that swindler.
What Anders did was technically legal. It may not have been the most benevolent thing in the world.
Benevolent? He used the 1978 tax appraisal to value Grace's property today?
Which is technically legal.
But it's not right.
The burden was on Grace to ask for an updated assessment.
How was she to even know about that?
Wait a minute. You two always snap at each other like this?
Not always.
Anyway, I told Anders we'd sue if necessary.
To sue? Oh, now, just a minute. I didn't want to die in that nursing home, and I for sure don't want to die in no courtroom.
Nobody's going to court, Grace. Don't worry. You'll come around to a nice, quiet settlement.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
It means a difference of what this land was worth and what you sold it for. And with current land values, we got to be talking $160,000 minimum.
$160,000?
That's the upside. There is a downside. This could take a while. Grace, you're going to need a will.
And here is a standard legal form. Okay, all we have to do is fill in a few of these blanks.
Well, what am I going to do with all that money?
Leave it to anyone you want. Roy?
Roy? He'd just get in trouble.
There's Luann. Grace's favorite niece in Providence.
Now, let's start a trust to pay for her college.
A trust, David, that's a great idea.
Do you know what the Bible says about money? It's the root of all evil. I don't want that on my conscience. Let's just forget about this.
Grace.
No wills, no lawsuits, no nothing.
I gotta go. I have a client meeting.
I don't like what's happening to me. I'm so confused.
I'm sorry. We're putting you through too much.
No, I'm an old lady, and I'm set in my ways. I know that. I just can't stand surprises. That's why I got upset. I surely didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
It's fine. Let's just forget it. Here, I'll help you wash those.
No, I'm fine.
Well, all right. Then you wash and I'll dry.
Okay.
Are you sure you won't eat something?
Well, I was looking out the window at my orchard up there, and I was thinking I would love to have a bite out of one of them apples.
You would?
Yeah.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go. Would you show me the big house, too?
All right. I haven't been there myself since the hospital.
Watch your step.
There we go. Okay. Okay. Ah. Well, I never did like it much anyway. You should have seen it before. I always had a lot of fishing gear and guns, you know, men's stuff. Nothing of mine. The orchard, though, that was different. I used to go out there every day. I'd take a blanket in the afternoon and I'd lie down on my back when my work was done. That's where I dream my dreams. Oh, look there. That's a gazelle.
Easy.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
That's the first morsel I've seen you eat in days.
Don't want no more.
You only had one bite.
I know. You finish it.
Can you see the steeple of your little church from here?
That is not my church.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that. Could you tell me about the Reverend?
He was just a young man. You know, young preacher. John Patrick Conklin. I was married, of course. One day in Sunday school, he asked me to stand up and read something out of the Bible. Everybody laughed. They knew I couldn't read. But later, he said I shouldn't feel bad, that he'd teach me how. That poor thing. I'd go down there on Sunday afternoons with my book. I couldn't concentrate.
I just liked watching his eyes. The way he'd get his brows all worried when I messed up. I liked listening to him laugh, you know. Then the people from the church, my mother-in-law especially, start cackling like a bunch of old hens. My husband heard about it. He stormed down there and cussed him out.
Why? Did anything happen?
Of course nothing happened. I was so mad I just never went back there. Took me a long time to get over being angry with God. But then, through the years, I came to realize that Mr. Stiles really did love me in his way. He stood by me through a heap of trouble.
My husband, he stood by me through a heap of trouble, too. New York. That was my orchard. Especially the last few years. I had just gotten promoted. I was the head of an entire division. I finally achieved as a woman respect. Even more than the power of the money, you know?
And then your little boy died. What was his name, Billy? I bet he was smart.
And talented. Yeah. You like to draw pictures?
Oh, that's all right, honey. That's all right. Just let it all out. You gotta make room inside yourself again for happiness.
Oh, Grace. I loved him.
Of course you did, huh? Of course you did.
Hi, Roy. Glad to see you.
Hey, Grandma.
Hello, Roy. Where you been?
Oh, you know, busy. Oh, I just stopped by because the mailman's been dropping your stuff off at the gas station, and you got another letter from Luann.
Oh, well, don't just stand there. You sit down and read it to me.
I'll be outside.
Dear Auntie Grace, I was real sad when Mom told me today that you are very sick. So I thought maybe I could cheer you up, and myself too, by writing you a happy letter. Whenever I'm feeling bad, I play with my dog, Dooley. Dooley's just a mutt, but he's always ready to play or snuggle when I hurt. I wish people could be more like Dooley. That's all I can think of right now, Auntie Grace.
Roy, I want to thank you.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I can feel this hostility coming from you. If you feel like I'm getting between you and your grandmother, you can say so.
Makes you feel like you're doing something good coming up here, doesn't it? Probably think you care about her more than me.
What? No. I don't feel that way at all.
You want to know why I don't come? Because all I think about when I'm up here is my dad working like a mule every day of his life. For what? Every year the farm would just sink deeper into the hole. But Dad, he would just push himself harder and harder.
You love your grandmother, don't you, Roy?
What a question. She showed me how to toss a horseshoe. pitch a ball. Dad was always working the farm. Grandma was too. But somehow she found the time.
Well, you should come back, Roy. Show her that you appreciate all she's done. Bring Charlene.
Glorie? What are you doing here?
I'm getting into this. I'm getting a lot done.
Well, what time is it?
I don't know. 2:30?
In the morning? Why aren't you home with your husband where you belong?
Oh, David's probably not home himself. It's Friday night. He's probably out with the boys.
I still want you to go home. And your husband. He's not out with the boys, and you know it. I've seen him looking at you, just aching for you. Now you just take your things and you go on home. It's not right, a young woman like you messing with death like this.
I want to know about death.
You know about death. You just don't accept it yet. Your boy died, and it's like the doctor said.
These things happen?
Yes.
Just happen. No rhyme or reason?
How should I know what the reason is? You just take each day as it's given you. You don't question.
No questions.
No.
What shall I do then, huh? Just keep busy for the next 50 years?
Something happens like this, you start over.
Oh, yeah, start over. Move to a new town. That was David's answer. Have another baby. Look how many children you buried. Are you telling me that I can go through this again?
Listen, child, you either do a thing or you don't. What other choices do we have?
Oh, I've got choices.
Like what? That's what this is about. You're here trying on death for size before you go out and kill yourself. That's it, isn't it? Isn't it?
This shouldn't have happened. He was a perfect, innocent boy with his whole life in front of him. I mean, Grace, you are the one with the faith here, so you tell me, what heavenly purpose was served by crushing his beautiful body and leaving it on my lap to die? I just want an answer, you know? Just one lousy reason.
Glorie! Glorie! Would you do me a favor? Would you let me go first? Well, I wasn't sure I'd ever see you back.
Grace, about last night. I'm sorry. I get freaky when I get too tired, and I shouldn't have. And I apologize. I brought us something. If you're feeling up to it, I thought maybe we could... Where's a good place we can go to just laze out?
Laze out? I don't think I've ever done that before. What'd you go buy food for? There's one thing I got plenty of is food.
Well, I know it's a stretch, but I thought something exotic might tempt you to eat. So everything I brought today is imported. All right. Here, I want you to try this.
What is it?
It's prosciutto on a sliver of raisin pumpernickel.
For what?
Prosciutto. It's a kind of ham.
What kind of ham?
It's Italian.
You bought Italian ham?
It's meat. Try it.
Meat? Well, why didn't you tell me? We could have gone and killed us one of them chickens.
Grace, please.
You don't eat chicken?
Well, not ones I've made eye contact with. Here, you're gonna like this. It's cheese.
I got a 3-pound carton of cheese in my refrigerator.
Not like this. This is special. It's called brie. Smell it. Isn't that heaven?
I sure hope not.
Okay.
What's that?
I'm not telling. I'm just gonna eat it. This is delicious. It's lobster salad.
Oh, I seen pictures of lobsters. All them legs, them beady little eyes.
Don't,
they
Grace.
look just like
Please.
great big bugs.
Okay.
So, we done lazing out? There it is, got it all done.
Grace, it is breathtaking.
I sure wish I could show Luann how I did it.
Well, you can. Look. I brought this with me today, and I've been meaning to ask you. I want to videotape you. For Luann. This is perfect. While she's trying on the sweater, you could be there explaining about the orchard.
I don't think so, no.
Why not? She'll cherish it the rest of her life. She'll finally get to see this amazing aunt that she's written all these letters to.
Yeah, you want Luann to see me the way I look?
Grace, you are beautiful.
Beautiful? I look like something that you find out on the highway. What's that Roy calls it? Roadkill.
We'll make you feel pretty. We'll doll you up, put on a little makeup, make your hair look nice.
You want Luann to see a painted woman, huh?
Makeup is about accenting and highlighting the beauty that is already there.
You wearing makeup now?
See, you can't even tell.
Well, I mean, if by some miracle you could make me look just halfway presentable. What did I say then?
Well, you'd start out by wishing her happy birthday.
Well, I can do that with a card. Oh, they're starting them machines again.
They can't. There's a court order. They're not...
They're doing it, though. Yeah, they're moving. They're moving right out. They're... Where are they going? No! No!
The orchard? Grace!
No! Stop!
Grace! Please!
No!
Let's go back inside. This won't help.
No! No! No, please stop! Please! Please!
Don't do this!
No! No! Stop it!
Grace, let's go back in. Come on. Grace! Grace!
Oh, Glorie, my trees! Stop!
I wish I could. Oh, no. Oh, Grace. I rinsed everything out. I don't think the stains will set. I'm calling Dr. Peters.
Don't do anything.
Grace, you were throwing up blood.
Honey, he didn't come here to help me pull through this. He came to help me die.
You think I'm a fool, don't you? Carrying on about a bunch of trees.
No, of course not. I understand they had sentimental value.
They're just old, majestic trees. Now, that developer, he was sending us a message. And you know it.
I just hope you don't let him get away with this.
Now we're back to lawsuits again.
You deserved a fair price for this farm. It's not just the money, Grace. It's what the money can buy you. You've got a chance here to give Luann what you never had. Opportunities, education, freedom, Grace. Freedom to grow and blossom as she pleases. All you have to do is sign the will.
Stop helping me, honey. I really don't feel very good.
Glorie? Glorie?
Oh, okay, let's do it. You paint me. Where do you want me to go? Over there by the table, or maybe it'd be better by the windows, more light.
What are you talking about?
What? You said you was going to doll me up so I could talk to Luann.
Okay. All right.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing, Grace. You've been asleep for the last 18 hours. Aw.
Really?
Oh.
What you doing now?
I'm softening your cheekbones.
See if you can fix my nose.
Okay, look over my shoulder. Right here. And don't blink.
How am I supposed to do that?
Well, concentrate. Concentrate.
Concentrate.
Okay. There. All right, what should we do with your hair?
Well, I guess we could throw one of them quilts over it. What's that?
Thought we'd do something different.
Looks like egg whites all whipped up.
I think that's what this is.
Well, that's different, all right. I could live to be 100 and never think of wearing a meringue.
No peeking. All right. Okay. You can open your eyes.
Well, that preacher was right. I was good looking.
You still are, Grace. You ready to talk to Luann now?
You be quiet. I'm just looking in the mirror here. Oh. No.
Grace. You want to lay down, huh?
No, it'll go away. Just.
You sure you want to do this today? We don't have to.
Yeah, fine. Oh. Yeah, if you think I'm going through that mascara and meringue again, you got another thing coming.
All right, I got you. Okay, all you have to do is relax. Think about what you want to say. Look at the camera. Pretend the camera's Luann.
Can't pretend a machine's a person.
Okay. Pretend I'm Luann.
All right.
Okay. Relax.
Hello, Luann. This is your great aunt. Just regular. I can't do this. I just can't think of anything to say. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's wish her happy birthday. And, let's show her the sweater.
She can see this too?
Sure.
All right?
Okay. We're gonna start over. Just relax. That's it.
Hello, Luann. This is your great aunt Grace, and I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday, and I wanted to tell you too how much those letters that you wrote me, meant to me, and the pictures. I really did love them pictures. I'm just glad you're thinking of me. I've been thinking of you too, especially when I was knitting this. Can you see that? That's the orchard that used to be here. I thought you might like to see a picture of it. I sure would like to see you. I'd just give you a hug. I hope you're not too big for hugs.
Roy Stiles, where have you been? Oh, my. Is this who I think it is? Luann? I bet this is Dooley. Hi. Wow, where did she come from?
I drove down to Providence and got her.
Come on.
I know I should be giving you some advice, because that's what people expect old people to do, is to offer some advice. But honestly, you young women today are so bright and independent. I just don't know what to tell you. I don't even know what I know. Mercifully, heaven. Are my eyes playing tricks on me?
Hello, Aunt Grace.
What's going on in here, Albert? Well, this is a miracle. This is a positive miracle.
And Roy's the miracle worker. He went all the way to Providence to get her.
Oh, Roy, you are something else. Look at you, honey. Oh, you are so big, beautiful, and so... Good gravy, I forgot I had on those red lips. I don't usually wear all this stuff all over my face. You tell her, Glorie.
Don't believe a word she says. She's the local Cleopatra.
Oh. Gosh, honey, I'm just so happy to see you that I don't even know how to express it. Roy. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Here, I'm just crying like a fool. Thank you for giving me Luann. And Luann, I have something for you. I made this in... This is my orchard. Before they knocked it down. I wish you could have seen it. But anyway, here it is. That's for you.
Thank you.
Roy, Glorie said that she didn't think that the developer had paid us a rightful price for our farm. So she's going to get some more money from him.
Have you given any thought to how you like the money used, Grace?
Yes, I have. I've thought about it and I've prayed about it. And Roy, you should have half. And Luann, you have the other half.
Oh, thank you, Aunt Grace.
You're welcome, honey. It's for your college education. It's so you can... Oh, how did you say that?
Grow and blossom.
Yeah, grow and blossom as you wish. Yeah. Oh, merciful heavens, is that who I think it is? Come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, you dooley. Oh, yeah.
Well, Mr. Attorney, is that as legal as a written will?
That should hold up in any court in the land.
Hi. Hi. You started the slumber party without me?
Look, Aunt Grace hand embroidered this nice shirt.
Isn't it so pretty? You did. Where do you get the time? Music!
I did a nightshirt for you, too. It's right down there.
For me?
This belong to your son?
Mm-hmm. Hold it up to the candlelight.
Wow. It's beautiful.
Yes. Billy would gaze into that for the longest time. And then he'd draw what he saw with his colored pencils.
Night.
Good night, sweetheart.
Time for you to go to sleep, too.
Glorie, would you feel my legs? Do they feel cold to you?
No.
So you don't think I'm dying just yet?
No, you're not dying just yet.
You think if I go to sleep, I'll wake up?
You'd better. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to clean up this mess we made all by myself.
Good night, honey. Oh, you're not going to sleep in that uncomfortable old chair again tonight. You come on over. Come get in with me.
I can't sleep in your bed, Grace.
It's the slumber party. That's what girls do. Come on.
This is nice.
The way you gave Luann that toy that belonged to your little boy, that was nice, too.
I've saved a lot of Billy's things. It's a shame for them to go to waste.
You know what I think? I think that you're ready to talk about it. About what happened to your little boy.
It was Billy's first day at the new school. And it was raining. So I decided to drive over and pick him up. We were headed back across town. I don't know where it came from. This truck. When it hit us, it crumpled Billy's side of the car like a paper bag. We were pinned inside the wreck for more than an hour. Just squeezed into this tiny sliver of space. Billy was on my lap. And as I held him, I could feel his life just slipping away. And there was nothing I could do but scream. So we buried him. This gentle, sweet boy. After that, I don't know, I just shut down, you know? I wouldn't go to work. I wouldn't go outside. What for? There was no point. David, he dragged me from one doctor to the next. We ended up with a shrink who suggested a change, somewhere far from the city. David's done just about everything he can for me. I don't know. I'm so lost. I don't know what I feel. Even about him.
It's a terrible thing to lose a child, honey. But don't lose a man who loves you, too.
Hey, Aunt Grace. Think I'll ever be able to make a sweater as beautiful as this one?
Oh, yes. You'll just, make your own style. I bet you put Dooley in one of them.
Good gravy.
Morning. Yeah, good morning.
I don't think I ever slept so hard.
Look, Aunt Grace is teaching me to knit.
Well, she is the best.
Such a shame to dig up this place. Such a pretty farm.
Yes. It's been my whole world. From the animals to the trees, the flowers, right down to the books. You know what, sweetheart? I've been trying to think of something that I might tell you. And I think maybe it's look out at the world out there. Just look how everything's connected to everything else. Like our sweater here. Like the stitches in the sweater. Now, just one or two stitches, they don't mean much, but if you cut or break even one of the stitches, the whole sweater falls apart. Now, I don't know what my life is for, Luann, but I do know that God put me here for a reason. And if only it's like a stitch in the middle of a sweater. So one hand is holding on to the stitch that came before me, and the other hand's holding on to the stitch that came after me. If that's all, it's still important.
Here, Dooley!
Dooley! Dooley!
Don't you scare those chickens, Dooley.
Look at her. Isn't she beautiful?
I wish she could have seen the orchard.
Oh, honey. She is the orchard. Glorie.
I'm here. I'm here. Can I ask you something? Why do you like calling me Glorie?
Oh, can't help it. When I was a little girl, my mother's favorite hymn was, "He will give me grace and glory and go with me all the way." My mama used to laugh. She said, "Well, we got our little grace. Now we just gotta wait for a little glory." She never did get her. But I guess I did, didn't I? Glorie, you're the best friend I ever had. Oh, you're mourning me already? Them other two people you helped die, did you mourn them too?
I guess so.
That's what all this messing with death means. You're afraid if you stop grieving, that you're finally gonna have to let go of your little boy.
I loved him so.
Of course you did. But honey, it wasn't death tied you two together.
We'll have breakfast in a little while. Luann's out gathering the eggs. Here. In the meantime, have an apple. How do you feel? Any pain?
I was just thinking about my will. I wanted to put something in it for you.
Don't be silly.
You got something to do.
Oh, yes. I've got something to do, Grace.
I know what I'll give you. I want you to have Gabriella's soup tureen. What do you say to that?
I would be honored.
Really? I'm glad. This way you'll remember the rest of your life what an ornery old peapod I was.
Now she has her grace and glory. Grace and glory. Now she has her grace and glory. Grace and glory. Now she has her grace and glory.